Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Sharing the Scoop. And today I have with me is Abhishek. So hi Abhishek, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I hope you are doing fine.
Yeah. I'm fine. I hope you are safe and at your place, safe
Yes,
and
yes,
sound.
definitely. Yes,
Oh,
definitely. But still just making out with the situation and working out from home. Working from home, actually, that's the new thing.
yes, we all are actually. Uh, so anyway, Abhishek, can you please introduce yourself for our audience?
Okay, so hi all viewers. This is Abhishek Kumar Singh, and I actually belong from an army background. And I have done my undergraduation in civil engineering from Pune University. After that, I had a work experience of 1.9 months with top construction firm at Pune. And after that, as a junior engineer, but after that, I thought to go for my MBA, and I did my post graduation from NMIMS Hyderabad. I'm the batch from 1820, and I'm currently the PPO holder from Mars International. I'm currently working as area sales executive at Mars.
Amazing. So, Abhishek, you mentioned something that you are from the army background. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Okay, that's actually an interesting part because my dad is a retired army officer. So every 2 years, I have been traveling all over India. So I was born in Gujarat, then brought up in Punjab, then UP, Sikkim, JNK. So I have been around a lot of places. I did my 10th from Pathankot, that's in Punjab, and then my 11th from Vishakhapatnam, and from my 12th is from Pune. So I had a very diverse, like uh, I can say,
Bharat Darshan, basically.
yes. Half of the India I have visited, and actually it has helped to understand people and gel up with the people, which actually helped in my MBA, GDPI also.
Networking part. You have been
Yes,
learning that
networking.
from your
Yes,
childhood, and you got to use it. People usually know about that when they enter the B school, but you have been already knowing that since
right.
you were as a kid. Amazing. So,
Yeah.
Abhishek, from civil engineering, and you had a work experience as well. Why
Yeah.
MBA? What made you think about MBA?
Okay. That's a good question. So it might sound funny, but in my engineering, I was totally against of doing MBA because if I'm an engineer, why should I go in a management field? I should pursue in my management. So that was something very difficult to come up what I was 2 3 years back and now. So what change was this when I was working as a junior engineer? I thought we are just bunch of people, but the main decision making is done by all the managerial people, all the people from the marketing or from vice president or other people in the management department. So I just thought, why can't I pursue my career in management field, but not as an MBA? So what I did, I tried to move in my same field as in construction management. And if you are aware about the college name Nikmar, it's in Pune, and it's like an IM for construction management. So I have applied there, but thanks to Pune University, who gives very good marks, I got rejected because of my graduation mark. Even though I had very good, my profile was very strong and GPA was very good. But yeah, 2 consecutive years I was not taken into consideration to ICMA, so I was very much disheartened. But then, what good part happened was this: I was not disheartened. I thought if I am doing these things, and same syllabus was there for the entrance examination. It would be Quant, LR, DI, GA. So why don't you make and channelize this thing and push it for a specialized or a general post? So yeah, so in journalize or in specific field. So what I did was this: I consulted many of the coaching institute before I take any course, which actually helped me, and they guided me which all are tier one colleges, tier two colleges, different kinds of exam. Let it be CAT exam, ZAT, NMAT, or even GMAT for a sake. So they consulted me on this, and then I finally chose yes. Why go on a generic field of construction management only? Let's go for a generic thing, and that's why I
MBA.
called for the MBA. Yes,
Amazing, amazing. Actually, I always believe in this, that whatever happens, happens for, all the
visit.
good reasons. And you so badly wanted to go in construction management, but as you said, thanks to Pune University,
Yeah,
you ended up in a better place, I believe now, which is
yeah,
a
exactly.
great brand actually, NMIMS. And looking back now at this whole journey, you would be like, thank God, I was
Yes,
not
yeah, yeah.
selected in
Definitely, I totally
construction.
agree on this.
But that's what it is. As Steve Jobs said, we can only connect the dots looking backwards.
Hmm.
Okay, okay, amazing. So, how you used to manage your studies, because you had a job, and the whole preparation for all these MBA entrances, as you mentioned.
Right.
What was your schedule like? How much you used to study? Can you tell us what worked for you?
Okay, so being a junior engineer, it was very much difficult. It was not something like an IT job which had 5 to 6 kind of a job. So I usually have to go in the morning and come late at night with all concrete on my hair. What I did, it was very much difficult for me to study. So I started studying from December itself, but I could not manage this, to be very frank. So in the month of March, I put my notice period. Until April, I did my job, and then I left my job. So from May, I can say properly try to manage all my studies. For that, I joined one of the institute coaching institute, and I studied on this. So while going through that, the major part was that I took a lot of test series. I was not stuck to one coaching institute only, which helped me to understand the different levels which every coaching institute put. If you see the paper of CAT from 1718, those are the toughest LR people have ever got, and I was one of the students, but I was able to crack that with 98 percentile in LR. Won't talk about my quant, which was very less. So going forward, I took a lot of test series, and then each and every test series, which a lot of students forget, is a proper analysis. So from June onwards, you have June, July, August. Is the what the time preparation is, because from October the exam starts, and NMAT is one of the first exam starts. So it's very important to understand your strengths and weaknesses. Many people say like being an engineer, your quant should be good. That's actually a myth. Me being an engineer, my quant was very bad. Good with communicative skills, and LR was okay. So what people do is they generally focus on few of the aspects. Like suppose if their LR is bad, they will just keep on working on that for weeks and weeks. But that's a wrong approach. Every day you should spend some time, like 2 hours or 1 hour at least, on every particular section. Let it be LR, let it be DI, let it be, because you don't know at the end of the D day how your exam gonna be. Even if you suppose if your strength is on, and at the D day it's very hard, then it's very difficult for you to motivate yourself and say yes, I can do it. It rather demotivates you. So that was my strategy. I was working on my strength. So I was working like 3 hours or 4 hours for quant, 1 hour for my communicative, for English, and then just 2 hours for my LR. So this was my proper schedule. And from that, when I started to give my exams, so first was my NMAT. I did not give any exam. I was giving all the exams. So I've given NMAT, I've given CAT, I've given SAT, I've given SNAP. So all the exam, I've even given MHCT also. all the exams I have given, so which has actually helped. I was able to crack my in my first. So yeah, I could not complete for the Mumbai, but nevertheless, I aimed for CAT, which was actually my main focus. So I could go for it. I scored 93.5 percentile, but just because of engineering background and low percentage, I could not get called from the IIMs. But definitely, I got calls from other colleges, and for NMAT and then Snap also I cleared, so I got a call from SCHMRD also. NIFT I could not crack it, even though actually it helped me to understand a lot of current affairs because it has GK part in it, which helped me afterwards for my GD and TI. So yeah, this is overall for my preparation and all. But after the exams got over, the main challenge come, that is GD and PI. So once the exams got over in January, which is your ZAT, which is your last exam mostly. My CET was in March, but before that, all my interviews were scheduled. So I started to prepare for all the current affairs by reading newspaper which is every day. Yeah, so in the month of February, we have our budgets and a lot of questions are asked on the budget. So one should be aware of that. But when it comes to the process for NMAT, they have a case discussion, which is very different from group discussion. So they are given a current situation or a case study on a particular company or a current scenario, and then you have to discuss on this. Many of the people have the myth saying that you should speak first. But yes, definitely brownie points for that. So case discussion is only happening at NMIMS campus, which is very different from the group discussion. So for that, you need to be very much aware about what is the current scenario happening, because they give you a case study on the basis of the current scenario, or they can give you a case study on a particular company, and you have to discuss on it. Many of the people have this myth that you should speak first, you will get the brownie point. Definitely, it's very much important. But the point is that you should also speak relevant. So I always prefer to speak on second or third, where I know few of the points, I have things in my mind and I've heard of it. Because you have points for listening also. So this was all my strategy for GD and PI. And PI you should be definitely, because I was a work experience guy. So all my questions were on my work ex. And these people, what I say in Hindi is, वो आपके पापा बैठे हैं वहां पर. So you can't bluff with them. So you have to be very thorough with whatever the work experience that you have, and whatever the relevant information you have. So they will grill you like anything. But if you are very much confident, even though you are being grilled, yeah, they will select you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Great, great. And can you give us some insights about NMIMS Hyderabad, which only a student would know, and from outside we would never come to know about those things?
So insights about NMRMS. So I'll tell you three, four major points which is there. So in 2018, the campus actually shifted from Hyderabad to Jachelda, which is near about 90 kilometers from main office. But the good points is that it's in the middle of SEZ, and you have big companies like L&T, Electra, Arbindo Pharma. So you can get industrial experience very good, because we also visited many of the industries while going for many of the conclaves, we can say, or industrial visits. Then it will be the biggest campus of all the NMIMS. It's a 90-acre campus. It's under construction, but yeah, definitely a lot of infrastructure has already been built, and world-class university you will get. So it will be the largest campus. The second thing which I like about NMIMS is this, the diversity. So in my batch, 51% were female, and which we never saw in engineering college. So this is something very
Not especially in civil engineering.
yes, yes, civil engineering. Hardly two, three female candidates for that. So yeah, that was very good, and we have people not just from south, being in Hyderabad campus, from north, east, west, south, everywhere the people were there, and the diversity was there. Even academic diversity was there. People from BCom, BBA, or from other background, BSc, dentist. We have a journalist also. So yeah, people from diverse backgrounds were there, which is very unique, and you get to learn a lot of things from people, from their exposure. You can share a lot of things, which you miss in typical tier 1 colleges. Most of the people are from engineering background itself. And most I can say third, yeah, the faculties are really good there. So many are permanent faculties, and many are the visiting faculty. So talking about some permanent faculty, we have Mr. Karunakar sir, who is from IIM Calcutta. Then actually teaches us. Then talking about Mr. Hamid Abdullah, he is he actually worked in Gate Foundation, and he was one of the advisors at Niti Aayog. He used to teach us economics. Really very diverse things we can see. Then visiting faculties like Mr. Radhakrishnan sir, who teaches us sales, and he's the director of Skyward in India. Then you have Mr. Prabhakar, who teaches us in analytics and has worked with companies like HDFC Bank, SBI Bank. So the faculties are really good. I'll just give an insight. Like I could not, I hated like working on laptops and all, but now this MBA has taught me that I can now make my own website, and I actually have my own website also. So this has actually something which I learned from these visiting faculty, because they not just have academic exposure, but they even have industrial exposure, which you might not get with the permanent faculties. So yeah, this is very good. And the final thing which all the NMIMS do is this, like they help you and enhance your skills that you can participate on international platforms or in normal college fest also. So there's a motivation from college. So it's just not the marks that they will think or they will do. So, talking about myself, I have won a lot of competition. One of the competition that I won is at ISB Hyderabad. That's an international management fair. There are only 2, 3 management fairs. Then I've been shortlisted for NITI, IMT Ghaziabad, IIM Amritsar. There are a lot of things which our faculties help, and they motivate that yes, you should do it, and this actually adds a lot of profile to you. Yes.
Correct, correct. Very true, very true. You should participate in as many competitions as you can, and that's add tremendous value as well
Yes.
to your profile. Great, great. Now that you have finished your MBA and working as well, so what are the changes that you see in yourself before doing the MBA and after doing the MBA?
A hell lot of changes. Literally, if you tell me to speak in front of Narendra Modi now, I can speak. This is the confidence right now I have. It is not a debate, but a logical debate also, I can say. I see myself, yes, I was confident, but confidence about your genre, your specification, about your job, it's very critical. So those things I got after MBA, and I was the part of corporate relationship team. That's the platform team also, so which helped me to deal with a lot of corporate people from PwC, from Deloitte, or Big Four, all companies. So there was a networking which was very much missing. It's very much impossible if you're doing an engineering or anything from a normal MBA college. For networking, you need brand, and you for that this will actually help when you talk to a lot of people. Your communication skill will get increased. Your networking will get increased. People will get to know. I actually know a lot of people. If still I call them and they have saved my number with my name, being a student. So the conclave that we used to arrange. So a lot of things have been uh, worked out in my favor when it comes to networking, which is very important. So that is one of the crucial points. And second was which I feel about the boosting of confidence and your communication skills. And third is your brand.
So coming from a brand after MBA, it's actually a pain on your shoulder because you have to carry that and perform that good. Even if you are not from that good college, people may think, okay, fine, yes, I it's fine. But with the NMIMS brand, you have that pressure also. You have to do work hard, and which actually pushes you from inside, challenges you, and you can take things ahead. So yeah, these are very important things which you can only learn if you are in a very good brand. Let it be a tier one college or in a tier two college.
Super, super. So, Abhishek, thank you so much for your time. This has been a wonderful session, and hopefully, we can do such more things in future as well. And all the very best for all your future endeavors.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Just the last advice for all the students is this: never lose hope. I really have. I'll tell you, I have a really very bad percentage in my engineering and not good percentage in 10th and 12th. Even colleges will reject you, and they will reject on the basis of your marks, which is not a criteria. But keep working hard, and any one college will always be there, which you actually started connecting all the dots, which will take you some other place, and you will succeed for sure. So never hope and just try. All the best to you, and all the best to all the students. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Abhishek. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye bye.